Hello and welcome back, guys. We're now starting a part 2 of the Deku Code written by Lotus Moonveil. You can find author's profile link in the description. Let's begin. The code/quirk manifests Izuku POV. Hello. Hi, I'm the coded conscious of Izuku Midoriya. If you're reading this, my flesh body has been destroyed or one of my cores was sent into another reality or place in time. I'm here to tell you of the life of my original vessel. In my world almost everyone had superpowers we all called quirks. Take note of the word almost. I was in the unfortunate 20% that was seen as quirkless. People like me were bullied, killed without consequences, and sometimes sold as slaves. My best friend Bagugo Katsuki, a.k.a. Kaken, became my worst bully when I was deemed quirkless. From the age of 4 to 14 I was bullied almost endlessly. Broken arms, legs, cuts, burns, and hundreds of black eyes with any time I stood up for myself I would get punished. In that world, the better your quirk, the closer to a god you were. There were other views of quirks too. Villainous quirks, heroic quirks, useless quirks, and a few others I don't remember. Anyways, I think this is enough of a backstory which I can fill in more later. Let's get to the day I forced my quirk to manifest. It was the last day of middle school and everyone was talking about which hero school they will try to attend. Of course, my egotistical ex-friend, Katsuki, jumped onto his desk and yelled, "Yo teach, don't lump me in with all of these extras. I'm going to UA and I will become the #1 hero. You do know Midoriya is going to apply to go there too." That teacher pretty much signed an order for my grave saying that. Everyone laughed at me saying no quirkless has ever been in UA. I'm just going to the support class. I have no longing to be a hero. I said, hoping to keep Katsuki from attacking me later. Once class was over I was attacked anyways. He burned my blueprint book of devices I was creating, had his lackeys break my left arm, and blasted me across the room with his flashy explosive quirk. Did a teacher come? No. Did anyone check to see if I was alive? No, I'm just a worthless person without a quirk. Deku, you better avoid UA or I will kill you. Oh yeah, I know a way for you to get a quirk. Take a swan dive off the roof and pray you get one in the next life, Katsuki said before leaving me there. Him and his goons laughed at his encouragement for me to commit suicide. I slowly collected my stuff and used an emergency sling I made because of how often this happens. I sighed and used some blast cream I created just for nitroglycerin burns. Once I put the cream away I realized where I was. I was on the roof of the school. No clue why I walked up here, but I decided just to follow his advice. I wrote a note apologizing to my mom that I do this and blaming the quirk-obsessed world and Katsuki for my death. After placing my backpack down with the note tied to it I jumped. My timing was perfect cause I was going to land and splatter right in front of Katsuki. I flipped him off and glared at him as I fell. That's when my quirk decided to intervene. It froze time and made a prompt appear in front of me. Continue with suicide as your quirk forms or use quirk to make Katsuki suffer. This surprised me greatly. I could only move my head and arms as a keyboard formed under the prompt. I smirked as I typed, "Let me splatter close to death before my body recalls," similar to Tracer from Overwatch. I hoped it would work as I hit enter. Time resumed and I felt all my bones break, my skin and muscles flatten before bursting out, and my BL decoding the arrogant JRK and his lackeys. The pain is something I hope to never feel again as the breaking stopped and I got rewinded back. In a few seconds I was suddenly back in the classroom before my book was burned. My body was fine, no broken arm, no burns, nothing. I quickly ran out of the school and saw the puddle of my BLD and all my BLD spotted classmates. Thank you for the idea, Katsuki. I now have a quirk. Is that how you got yours to manifest a month before it should have? I said as I skipped by him happy as I could be. Police and a couple of heroes stopped me from leaving the school lot. They asked everyone what they saw and I admitted what happened except I said my quirk appeared right before I would have died. Katsuki and his friends were scolded and that was it. Their parents were called and I was allowed to go home since I was fine. On my way home I decided to take a shortcut to get home faster to tell my mom. This wasn't the best idea as I was attacked by a slime creature. As he tried to grab me my keyboard and screen popped up again. I quickly hit the pause button freezing time. As time slowed to a halt I looked at the slime and moved to the side. He could see my quirk interface, as I called it as he had a tendril close to grabbing it. I moved my stuff and typed, sludge attacker gets put into an unbreakable jar and arrested. Once that was entered he was suddenly forced into a jar and time resumed. I picked up the jar and tapped it to PSS him off as All Might popped out of the sewers where I'm guessing my Jared sludge came from. Young man, have you? Is that the villain in your jar? I nodded and handed it to him. I'm sorry about using my quirk without a license. I literally just manifested it an hour ago and he attacked me. The jar is unbreakable but it's best you hold it when you go turn him in. The jar won't fit your pockets that well. All Might was stunned. Wait, you just manifested your quirk today and you were able to catch a villain. I nodded and showed him the QI. He looked at it stunned and tried to touch it only for his fingers to go through. Guess I can only let people see it. That's a good thing. I've paused time and undid my death with this. I told him the story as he began to smoke. Once I noticed the smoke I instinctively summoned a fire extinguisher and a set of clothes for All Might only for him to become a skeletal version of himself. You will tell no one of this, understood? Also, can this villain see out of the jar? I held up a finger and made the jar black and tested to see if I could erase memories using a video editing software on my screen. Needless to say it worked. Now he can't see out and I erased him seeing you transform. I cut it out so he just goes from you listening to my story to his jar going black and soundproof. Skillmight was impressed, such an awesome quirk. I hope you become a hero and not a villain. Can I ask you another small favor? I nodded as I made QI show up again ready to type or use any other program that might work. Skillmight sighed, can you undo the damage caused 6 years ago? It's why I powered down suddenly. Sure, but I want an autograph and you keep being an awesome hero, I said as I did a mix of Photoshop and Notepad editing to fix Skillmight. He laughed, done, and what all are you doing? A mix of Photoshop to get rid of your physical damage and in case that's not enough I'm causing your injury to suddenly heal as if it never happened. I'm thinking roughly 15 minutes ago shall do. And I am done. Once I saved it all, Skillmight returned to All Might, his scar was gone, and I had secretly added more power to his body and quirk. All Might hugged me and gave me his autograph as I created a small bag similar to a one-strap backpack. I quickly put the bag on him and the Jared villain in it. This is a custom bag which can hold almost anything as long as it's no bigger than you. It's now your bottomless might pack. He laughed and thanked me before he ran into a wall. Young Midoriya, did you boost my power or did my injury really weaken me? I fidget with my notebook which I had All Might sign in, actually a mix of both. I only added 25% of your total power from your prime. I didn't think you were that hindered and assumed the boost would be welcomed. I'm sorry. He made sure to get used to it before he patted my head. It's okay, young Midoriya, this will definitely help me save everyone. If you want I can recommend you into UA. That way you don't have to do the regular test. I perked up as he said that. You think I could get into your old school? He nodded and gave me his number before running off to turn in the villain. I stood still for a few minutes before I pulled up QI and looked through my programs. There were programs just released and some from the year. With some scrolling I found a game called Minecraft and gave myself a speed potion from it. I drank it and ran home to my mom. Mom, I am home and I got a surprise for you. I yelled as I ran into the living room where I saw her, Katsuki, and his mom Mitsuki. Hi Auntie Mitsuki. Is this about what happened at school? My mom nodded. Why didn't you tell me that KAC? Wait, when did you stop calling him Kaken? I freeze in place. I don't know actually. I think a few years ago after the 10th broken arm and the 4th broken leg. Auntie Mitsuki hit Katsuki, you really broke his legs. I swear if I knew you were doing this I would have beat your butt like a drum. Auntie don't, you can't really blame him. The teachers did nothing to stop it cause quirks are everything. Plus without his latest beating I would not be able to do this. I summon QI and make glasses of tea pour themselves and add sugar or milk to everyone's taste. Once that is done I turn the plastic teacups into pure china teacups and saucers. I now have my own quirk and helped All Might earlier. Bullshit. I bet you're making that SHT up. That outburst from Katsuki made his mom hit him hard. I then showed the autograph to them and showed them a bit of my meeting of All Might making sure not to show his deactivation. My Izuku already helped a hero. I'm so proud of you son but not of how you got your quirk. I hugged my mom and apologized as I left to put my backpack into my room and my blueprint notebook into my small lab. Katsuki noticed the book. Wait, didn't I scorch that stupid book? I nodded. When I undid my jump it went to before you did it. Thank goodness it worked like that. I didn't want to start from scratch. Once I put the book in place for later I returned to the living room with Auntie Mitsuki and Katsuki leaving. Katsuki sighed, Deku, I was so HRD on you because I didn't want you to be a quirkless hero and die. I don't know when I went power crazy but I am sorry. I nodded, I understand but I can't forgive you yet. Please get some anger management classes. I want you to become an awesome hero and not like Endeavor. Something about him is off. He smirked, I'm not a flaming trash fire. We both laughed, true but you're close in attitude. They left and my mom made katsudon for supper. She asked about my quirk and I answered what I could since I literally just got it. Once supper was over I headed downstairs into my lab to work on my creations. Once I got mostly done with my current project did I decide to use my quirk to help speed it along. Using my quirk I bent a few metal plates, welded them on, and double-checked the now covered wiring. Once I was satisfied I colored it green and tried its storage mode. I pressed a certain button and it became a small bracelet which I put on. This is what he made. I loved the movie growing up and decided to give it a little shout out. Mom, I'm going out to test my solar surfer. Its storage mode is flawless but now to try it out. She yelled at me from the kitchen, fine but be back before dark. We are seeing the quirk doctors tomorrow and I want you to be fully rested. I nodded as I rushed out and removed the bracelet. After I hit the button and tossed it in front of me it returned to full size and floated in front of me. I hopped on and put QI in follow and note mode. Note that hover mode works. Testing thruster. I tried it out and flew around easily. After about an hour of flying around I went home and began to mess with QI. I learned about what I now had. My quirk is called the code. It allows me to mess with reality as if it was a computer program or a book. It also increased my intelligence from BRTH, which explains a lot about why I always get A in every class and can create such interesting ideas. That also explains how I was able to repair anything that breaks with stuff around the house. Now I will spend some time messing with my quirk as I train to get into UA. Hopefully I don't get sidelined by something random. Chapter 1. The code is needed to understand this chapter. Please read it. I woke up the next morning and headed downstairs to talk to my mom. Mom, is it okay if I mess with my quirk today? I'll head to the middle of the woods so that I don't destroy any buildings. She laughed as he gave me my breakfast. Go ahead Izuku, just don't strain yourself, okay? You just got it yesterday. I nodded as I eat my breakfast. Once I finished and washed my dishes I hugged my mom and rushed off using my solar sail to get there. Of course my luck got me pulled over. Officer was kinda rude. Okay kid, where did you steal this flying surfboard? I looked at him a bit stunned. I built it, officer. I've been working on it for a few months and just finished it yesterday. He scoffed. I've heard that before. Do you have any proof? I nodded. I have the blueprints and if I may use my quirk I can show you my memories of working on it. He smirked. Sure, but if I see you do anything hostile I will arrest you. I pulled up QI and showed him a little memory montage of my building it and using my quirk on the last bit. That is when he tried to arrest me for illegal quirk usage. I let him take me to the police station after I turned my solar surfer back into its bracelet form. At the station I sat in an interrogation room. I waited patiently as the detective came in. You are being held for illegal quirk usage. What do you say about that? I sighed. I just got my quirk yesterday. I used it to finish my solar surfer in my mom's basement, and to prove to the officer that I didn't steal my creation. If I may use my quirk I can show where. I asked if I could use my quirk to prove I didn't steal. He allowed me and I showed him the same stuff and me asking the officer permission. Detective apologized. I'm sorry that he arrested you for no reason. May I ask what you mean by you got your quirk yesterday? I rubbed the back of my neck as I told him about what happened. He visibly paled as I finished the story. You're that kid. The officer that took the case called you BLD bomb. Can you wait in the lobby for a little bit? I nodded as he let me leave the interrogation room. After roughly 20 minutes of waiting All Might showed up and said hello. That's when I found out why I had to wait. Young Midoriya, I heard about the officer arresting you and the interrogation. The detective asked me to take you to UA to train your quirk. I quickly nodded as I jumped up. He laughed. I heard you made something. Think we can use it to get to UA? I smiled, most likely, but I've not. Wait, tested it much? I just finished it last night. I pulled him outside before making the solar surfer unfold itself. Impressive, young Midoriya. From that to a bracelet is incredible compaction. Let's fly this thing. What does it run on? Diesel, ethanol, or normal gas? I pointed to the sun as I hopped on and helped All Might onto the board section. I stomped into the shoe clamps and pointed out the passenger's clamps out to All Might. Once he was hooked up we took off. He enjoyed it as we got to UA within half an hour. That was incredible. Think you can make me one? I will pay you twice the amount needed for parts and extra for LBR. I thought a bit and smiled. I think I can just duplicate it. I did use my quirk to create an unbreakable jar. I tried to make a second one using my quirk, giving the copy All Might's color scheme and the words Solar Might along its sides. The way I typed it caused a very sci-fi looking effect. The original got All Might's color and the words along one side before it began to split, similar to how a cell duplicates. It stretched, forming more and more of itself until it finally split apart, showing two complete boards. Amazing, your quirk is beyond what I expected. Thank you, All Might. I'm glad I got your praise. Now how to use this thing is very easy, I smiled as I told him how to work it. After a bit we raced around Site Gamma, in which we tied. After that and the next few days he gave me various tests to use my quirk on. At first it was doing stuff like trying to move stuff around, create items, and give myself quirks. I was able to do all of that, but I quickly undid the quirks. I didn't want to use something I wasn't born with. Well, with how precise you can be with your quirk I don't think you need that type of training, but we need to find out your limit. Do you have headaches, pains, or sudden blurry vision while using it? All Might asked while he brought us both lunch from Lunch Rush, the school's cook. I shook my head, nothing yet, but I do want to try something. I want to see if I can see other dimensions like the old TV series Sliders. After we ate lunch he let me try it. Needless to say it worked. I visited two different realities, one where I was a walking emerald and another where I was a vampire. Honestly, I could have ended up somewhere worse. I told All Might and yawned as it was getting late. He gave me a lift on his Solar Might and told my mom what happened at today's training. When he told her of me sliding into other realities she yelled at how careless I was. I was grounded for a week, which means no inventing, no training, and no TV. After supper I went to bed and slept peacefully. What I didn't know until later was that Mom called my father. Hisashi, it's time you come home. Izuku has gotten a quirk and All Might is training him. Hisashi scoffed, I am not coming home unless he gets into UA. I don't care if his quirk can delete the universe. Until I see him on national television I won't come back to you. With that he hung up and changed to the news where he saw me and All Might racing our surfers to and from different places since it was part of my training. The newscaster, All Might, has been seen with a young man who seems to be the creator of his current form of transport. The device runs completely off of solar power yet can fly over 100 miles per hour easily. The creator is a young teenager called Izuku Midoriya and according to some of our sources plans to be a support hero and enter UA this year. I must say if All Might already trusts him this much he will most likely be let in by recommendation and possibly into the hero course as its third ever cross-class student. I wish the boy luck and hope his dreams come true. With that my father planned to return and make sure I supported him from now on. My dear boy, it's time you met me again. Thank goodness I can finally retire. I'm sick of being a hero. Entrance exam. I have been training with All Might and tinkering with my items for the past few months since my quirk appeared. All Might and I have been almost like father and son. He takes me fishing, the park, and we race a ton. He has become a bloody speed demon on his surfer. Trust me, he's worse than the kid from Treasure Planet. He weaves through traffic though he can easily fly over it. While I was learning about my quirk I discovered I can rewrite how my body works. As a joke I became Gem Izuku for a bit. Mom was not happy when I sneezed and destroyed the window with an emerald booger. Of course I fixed it and undid my modifications. With some small experiments that would make some people blush I made my body nearly perfect in my opinion. I have pink muscle all throughout my body which is the perfect balance of strength and endurance though I boosted both. I removed the need for sleep, eating, and water, and my eyes can change their strength similar to a microscope or binoculars. Of course there were some personal changes but mostly it was removing most of my scars. This edit is because of perverts. I do not write lemon/smut so stop asking how big he is. Use your own DMN imagination if you want but I will not write it. Today is the entrance exam to get into UA and I had to do 2 different tests. One for the support class and the other for the hero course. I left home early for the test and I had packed a few of my creations for both tests. Since I was applying for 2 I got to do the written section early. Once I got it done I headed to the support test. I was pretty close to the front of the line but I still had to wait, but luckily I saw my world has a May Hatsum and she was 2 people behind me. What's stupid is I formed a crush on her when I saw a double in another reality. When it was my turn I didn't even show anything when Power Loader, head of the support class, instantly said passed. I stopped him, how could I pass? I didn't show you anything. He laughed and pointed to my watch, that's your solar surfer. That is what passed. If you want you can show me one creation. With a smile I pulled out an energy shield from the same watch, I compacted my shield tech and fused it with my surfer bracelet making it into a watch. How strong is it? I paled then thought up something. I used my quirk to call up Gem Izuku. Gem was on his bed but sat up when he saw me through the portal. Hey Cyber, what's up bud? I smiled, have you built anything from my design booklet I gave you? Power Loader got mad, you designed but can't build and why does he look like you? Gem laughed, sorry Power Loader but he can build stuff. He's just asking hero course version of him if I tested anything he designed. Trust me interdimensional stuff is confusing. I did build the shield, took a 10% SSB without even a glitch. I then used it in a fight and no problems. Guy was easily a filled garbage truck going at 100 miles per hour as power for each punch. He got at least 100 punches. Anyways good luck Cyber, is your crush in that world or do you want mine? I quickly closed the portal with a major blush making everyone close laugh. Power Loader was the first to calm down, okay so what's an SSB? I reach into my pocket and pull out what looks like a spiked watch battery. It's the Solar Surfer battery. I use them in all of my tech that requires energy. It stores roughly 200 yotajoules of energy before it's maxed out. Unfortunately the battery is very explosive, so it requires VTN alloy of a certain mixture to surround it. 70% vibranium, 26% tritanium, and 4% naquata. The naquata spreads out the energy, tritanium replaces the lost strength, and the vibranium does the rest. A yottijoules is actually the amount of sunlight that hits the planet yearly. Vibranium is from the Marvel Universe while tritanium and naquata is from Stargate SG-1 universe. Power Loader was impressed, that's a very specific blend and your shield survived a 20 yottajoule blast. That's very impressive. I shook my head as I grumble, he didn't say if the blast was focused or not and how close he was. Each one would have different results. Power Loader nodded, very true, how about you test it in Site Alpha? It's the only one with that alloy throughout its walls, though it's 2N and 28T. I nodded and flew off on my surfer. Once I landed at the center of it, I put down a VTN box with one side open, knowing the blast would mostly hit me. Once it's level, I put a fully charged SSB inside with a destruction trigger on it. I then created cameras that can't be destroyed around me so they get all the angles needed. With that setup, I typed up a revive code for myself, set up the shield to be point blank, and started recording. The blast was mostly absorbed by my shield, but when there was about 20% left of the explosion's power, it broke and killed me. According to the recording, my entire body was instantly incinerated and reformed by pixels shooting off the cameras to rebuild me. With that test done, I flew back to the test area with the results, but what I didn't know is that they saw it all. The second I landed, people rushed me to see if I was okay. I nodded and walked over to Power Loader, who was pale. My shield took 160 YJ before it broke and the death was painless. 1 second my shield broke and the next was me standing there as if nothing happened. That's when May came over to me, have you died before now? How soft her voice was surprised me. Actually twice. My quirk fully manifested right before I died the first time, and the second time was accidental while training with daggers and such. Don't worry, it doesn't bug me, it's like I am in a video game with lots of lives. That seemed to calm everyone down but made May hyper. Wait, does that mean you have a HUD in your eyes? Can you see other people's stats? With those questions I pulled up QI and started to type up some code, mumbling a bit. As I kept typing, Power Loader looked at other people's creations, which sometimes worked or exploded in their faces. I would toss splash healing potions from Minecraft at them as I kept coding. Since the bottle would completely vanish in game, it did so in real life. Once the code was finished, I looked at May and smiled. May handsome, 15, female, Quirk is zoom, which lets you zoom in on people or objects in your line of sight similar to a telescope. Nice quirk, very useful in covert spying missions. You would need a way to hear them or just read lips. That made her bounce around some as my watch dinged. Power Loader, I have to go to my other test. May I be dismissed? He nodded as he yelled, if you do get into the hero course as well, I will see you in the afternoon of the first day. Good luck, bud, though you don't need it. I thanked him and ran to the auditorium where they would explain the physical aspect of the test. I got to the room a bit late, unfortunately, so the first thing I hear is as I enter the room is some blue-haired guy in glasses yelling at Present Mike because he didn't get to a part yet or there was a misprint. He quickly turned to me as the door opened and pushed his glasses onto his face as May crashed into me, causing us both to hit the floor. I helped her up and closed the door as the kids started yelling, you should drop out now if you're going to be late to every meeting. Coming in late is a distraction and an insult to those on time. I simply ignored him as I waved to Present Mike, sorry Present Mike, my other test took longer than expected. Thank goodness you insisted on telling me about the physical when I took the written test at 7 a.m. This made blue hair stiffen before I turned to him, apologize to Present Mike please. I bet he just explained the 3 bots worth points. The 4th is an obstacle worth nothing, which he was going to save for when he explained the environments with each testing site. That boy quickly apologized to me and Present Mike laughed, Izuku, did you get another of the support class to join the test for the hero course? Also, the upgrades you did to my speakers are awesome. How did you triple their power and reduce the vibration problem? I chuckled, not telling you. Oh yeah, you might want to change people going to Site Alpha elsewhere. I kinda destroyed it showing off my shield. He nodded and looked at May, who shook her head. I just wanna see him and his babies in the hero test. When the room gasped, I sighed. By babies she means inventions. Is it okay if she watches it, big mouth? Present Mike laughed. Sure thing, broccoli head. Still working on your taunts? I nodded and he continued explaining the test. Once he was done explaining and everyone was at their necessary site, I relaxed and went through my support gear. May wished me luck before he went up to the observing room. That's when I saw a brown-haired girl looking like she was about to hurl from nervousness. I quickly walked over, jumping over blue hair. Calm down, you'll do fine. If anything goes wrong I will help you, okay? She nodded but still seemed tense as I looked at the info card I coded into my site. Oh, you're nervous about your quirk's drawback. I have something that might help. She looked at me stunned as I gave her a small mask with a small empty vial on the side of it. This mask is to help people who get motion sickness. No mess and they don't choke on their own upchuck. She hesitantly took it. How do you know about my drawback and my quirk? I don't know you and I've not told anyone here about it. I literally face-palmed. I am so sorry, my name is Izuku Midoriya and my quirk is the code. It basically makes me into a video game character and makes me able to interact with the world like it's a game. A support class applicant gave me an idea to try data cards on people. I forgot to undo the code for it. She smiled. Your quirk is amazing, much better than mine. I shook my head. Your quirk is awesome too, Uraraka, you just need to train it some. After that I walked away wishing her luck. Then the test started and I rushed in, confusing everyone. Present Mike screamed, there's no countdown in battle. Follow that broccoli-headed shrimp. The rest then followed. The test was fun to do. I fought using a laser sword to cut up the bots and used my shield to protect people who were about to be hurt while we were all just started. As we all spread out I decided to try an ability called Code Clones. Soon pixelated versions of me with only shields began to help people only when needed. Unfortunately this is when I met my quirk's first drawback. I saw through all their eyes and controlled them similar to a hive mind, but it gave me a splitting headache. Soon everyone began to suddenly clump back together and I realized why. The zero-pointer was easily 10 stories tall. I had my clones help people get away until I saw Uraraka under some rubble. I quickly ran over and used my shield to protect her as I had clones get her out and help me keep the robot's foot up. We succeeded in getting her free, but most of my clones and my main body was destroyed as the foot was too much for us. My mind instantly went into a clone near her and I started to cough some as I took in some air. Note to self, next time code my clones to actually use their lungs. That hurt like hell. Everyone was stunned as my clone went from pixels to flesh and BLD. Is everyone okay? Is anyone hurt? Most shook their heads, but a girl with headphone jacks on her ears walked over. How are you alive? We just saw you get crushed by the zero-pointer. My clones and I began to heal people with healing items from different games as I answered her. My quirk is the code. Basically I am a video game character in a video game world because of it. Basically my clones were like lives in Mario or the respawn button in Dark Souls. When the time was up I depixelated the clones and drank a healing potion, ending my headache. That's when I got a new one from Recovery Girl. Izuku, I told you it is my job to heal people. Are you trying to take my job? Even though she was very short and old I knew if she got mad she could easily beat All Might right now. I'm sorry Recovery Girl, I didn't mean to. I just don't like to see people hurt. Please don't kill me. She gave everyone some gummy bears and sighed, it's okay, I know your heart is in the right place. Also I am out of the burn cream you gave me. You were correct about your friend getting people with his quirk. I quickly went through my backpack giving her some more of it, but because the bottle was bigger than her I had one of her med bots carry it for her. With that everyone got shuttled back to the school where we changed back into our street clothes and left to go home. I ran into May as she apparently was waiting for me. You impressed everyone including All Might. I bet you get into the hero course. I would bet 2 of my babies on it. I laughed as I shook my head. I rather not win that bet. I won't take people's inventions from them. With that we talked about inventions and heroes we liked until we had to go separate ways home. A week later I got the letter saying I got into the hero course and that I would start in A1 until the afternoon where I would go to support for the first day. After that, unless told otherwise, would be in support during the morning and hero classes in the afternoon. When I told my mom she congratulated me and we went out for Katsudon. I couldn't wait for classes to start and I hoped that Kaken got in even though he is somewhat reckless. Maybe classes with other heroes in training will help him learn control. First day and more. I sigh as I begin to get ready for the first day of school. My mom was already awake and cooking me a big breakfast. I eat it even though I don't need to survive. It just becomes extra energy and I nearly coughed as she dropped a bombshell. Izuku, your father will be coming home soon. He left to get a better paying job for us. I gulped down my juice and cleared my throat. What do you mean he is coming back? I thought he left because I was quirkless and he didn't want a quirkless son. I was very blunt and mad so I just left after that. On my way to school I ran into the girl I saved and nearly knocked her over. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. She blushed. Oh, you're the boy who saved me. I was never able to really thank you. I'm Uraraka Ochiko and thank you for saving my life. Oh yeah, I wasn't able to return this. She dug into her bag pulling out the motion sickness mask. I'm Midoriya Izuku and it's okay, you keep it. I've already made a few. She smiled. Thanks, I will give it to the support class to add it to my costume. I began to laugh some at that statement. No need to do that, Uraraka. I will build one for it when I get started on the hero costumes for I'm in both, so why not? Uraraka looked at me confused. What do you mean you're in both? I chuckled and had my surfer pop out. Once it fully formed she recognized me from the news. Wait, you're the kid who made that for All Might. I nodded. Get on or we will be late. She gets on and I break a few speed limits to get us to UA. Once we get there I store our ride and I lead her to A. I sighed and shook my head. First day and 2 idiots are already fighting. After bracing myself I open the door and head to my seat. The blue-haired guy who insulted me for being late walked over. I am sorry about yelling at you during the section they explained the test. Please forgive me. I smiled. It's okay, Ida Tenya, you were just trying to instill punctuality. I am Midoriya Izuku and I know your name and quirk due to mine. He nodded and went back to telling Katsuki to get his feet off the desk. Once I saw it was Katsuki I walked over. Kaken, will you please put your feet down? I rather not get a migraine. My head still hurts from the last day. I acted sweetly to him like I used to. His reaction was his feet hitting the ground so fast Ida was surprised. Thanks Kaken. Actually I do need to use your name. Katsuki, please try to behave. I don't want your only friend to be me. He sighed. Sorry Izuku. It's just a bad habit. With that over I sat back in my seat and waited for our teacher to arrive. After a little bit I notice a bug-like thing crawl in. I stayed quiet until I got a clear angle of his little tab thing I coded during the exam. Good morning Aizawa-sensei. This made the entire class shut up and sit down. How did you notice me? He asked as he got out of his sleeping bag behind his desk. Info cards that only I can see. I coded it during the exam. He sighed. You're the dual class kid, aren't you? I nodded. Yes sensei. Today I'm in here for the morning, then I'll be afternoon here only. Aizawa sighed and tossed everyone gym uniforms and told us where to find him after changing. We all went to the respective changing rooms and got changed. I had to drag out one kid. His name is Mineta and he is a major pervert. He found a peephole and was about to check out the girls when I sealed off the hole and dragged him away. Aizawa was shocked to see me be the first one changed and dragging a classmate. "Why are you dragging that kid?" I growled slightly. He found a hole and was trying to look at the girls changing. I sealed the hole and dragged him so it will be able to dry before he tries again. After about 10 minutes everyone else comes out and Aizawa explained what we were doing. He was letting us use our quirks to do basic physical tests. He called me up, "Izuku, you got over 300 points, so you start. Throw this ball as hard as you can." He tossed me the ball and I got into the tossing circle. I threw it and got infinity as a score. After that I broke the record for every test he had us do. I broke a hand grip device, teleported to the end of the print getting 0.00001 seconds, I flew up for a bit using potions from Minecraft. Side-to-side jumps were really easy thanks to bouncy gel from Portal. The one I loved the most was sit-ups and push-ups till I couldn't do them anymore. After an hour of me doing 30 push-ups or sit-ups a minute Aizawa gave up. "Izuku, just get changed and go to support class. All Might training you gave you a big edge." I nodded and left yelling, "Mineta, I'll make sure that the peephole is completely sealed. I don't want you being a pervert on school grounds." I changed and walked into the support classroom where everyone was already tinkering. Power Loader noticed me. "Wow, you're earlier than expected. Did Aizawa remove you from his class?" I shook my head. "Nope, just dismissed me because an hour of push-ups and sit-ups broke him." Power Loader laughed and handed me A1 costume designs. Once I looked them all over I started making them all. The first was easy for Uraraka. I based it roughly on a space suit with compression and a smaller version of the motion sickness device in its hood. Next was Katsuki's. He literally wanted to be a walking bomb in appearance. I make it as he wanted, but I removed the grenade gauntlets, changing them to look like dynamite is wrapped around his wrists with multiple fuses so he gets multiple shots of focused explosions. They would be less powerful for each one but together would be more powerful than the original if all are used at the same time. When I saw the invisible girl's gloves and shoes I shook my head. I made her an outfit that looked shiny and when it's activated it becomes invisible and hides her heat signature. That's when May interrupted me. "Nice fabric, what's it made of? Think I can use it in my babies?" I laughed. "May, it's invisibility fabric and I'm working on making her goggles that do the same. That'll be metal and such." May nods as she poked Katsuki's wrist. "Dynamite. Are these useful?" I nodded. "Just be glad it doesn't have any of his explosive sweat in it. Better put some nitroglycerin burn cream in a pouch." I then put some of the special burn cream into a pouch on his outfit. "Need help with the outfits?" I nodded. "I need night armor for Ida Tenya. I think some dry ice or colder should be used on his leg engine's cooling system. Best metal would be tritanium mixed with vibranium." I then told her a few others as I moved on to Tokiyami Fumikage's outfit. His costume was pretty much what he wanted, but I add a bulletproof shawl and make his entire outfit the blackest black possible, making him look somewhat like an error in a simulation. This should help boost Dark Shadow's power in the day, and the shawl can be used to glide around similar to a hang glider. I do smaller changes to others' outfits but that's about it. By the time school is over we have all but my suit done. "Izuku, want me to make your outfit?" I can see her gears turning as Power Loader looks over the finished outfits. "I'm sorry, but I've not designed an outfit yet. I was just going to pixelate myself for now." She got to drawing as I finish what I was saying. Power Loader walked over and congratulated us on our awesome work for our first day. He tried to talk to May but she waved him off. Up until the bell rang I helped other students. After packing my stuff I headed up to Nisa's office. I knocked on the door then walked in when he said enter. "Hi Nizu, ready to play some checkers?" Nisa nodded. "I heard you nearly choked a classmate to death. May I know why?" "Mineta is a pervert. He found a peephole that lets the locker room see into each other, but it looked like it was made from the male side. I dragged him out after I sealed the hole." Nisa's eyes widened. "I am glad you sealed it, but dragging him may have been overkill." I sigh, maybe, but if he touches the girl I am interested in he will be embarrassed and hurt. That's when Power Loader and Aizawa come in. Aizawa instantly recommends I get boosted to A2 at least, and Power Loader wants me to get a workshop already. I was stunned by it and Nizu agrees. If he wants to skip a grade he can. Leave him be if he says no. I shake my head, I wanna stay in A-, I don't want more people to hate me for skipping grades. Also, what do you mean by workshop? I already have one at home. May not have the best stuff but it works. Power Loader laughed as he explained that usually he gives second years workshops that are near indestructible for more dangerous creations and to store their creations between working on them or doing a new one altogether. I think May needs that more than me. I can shrink stuff or store it in a pocket dimension. No clue how I do it yet, but I can. Also, I can create unbreakable boxes. You saw how strong the blast was during the test. He nodded and left as I packed up. During this chat I had beat Nizu at checkers without them noticing. When I got home I saw a note on the door stating that Mom went to pick up my father from the airport. I destroyed the note and went to my room switching to some shorts and a t-shirt before I leave her a note. It said, "Don't bug me, I'm inventing. Make sure he understands I don't him in my room or my lab. He had over 10 years to come back or contact us. I'm not forgiving him yet. Might one day but not this month." I could hear them when Mom came home. She read the note and sighed, "He won't meet you tonight, hun. He is in his lab, which is off limits even to me. He has some dangerous devices in there." That's when I heard my father's voice, which hasn't changed in 10 years. F that SHT. I've been gone working my butt off for him and he won't even see me. I then heard stomping and him open my bedroom door. Of course he loves all JRK. Where's his lab? Hisashi, calm down, you're just tired. Let's go to bed and you can see him in the morning. That's when I heard a slap. He hit my mom. I don't remember what happened next. 1 second I'm working on metal and glass, I can turn invisible, and the next I'm at the front door glaring at my beat-up father who has fear in his eyes and is backing away down the sidewalk. I slam the door shut and walk over to my mom, who also is afraid of me. What did I do? I was just in my lab and heard him hit you. As I put cream and ice on Mom's face she told me. If it wasn't her telling me I wouldn't believe her. Apparently I teleported in front of Hisashi and yelled at him for hitting her. He said he only did it to get me out here to meet him. Those words made me go into something called Enraged Defender mode, according to a digital sounding voice that came from my QI. I beat Hisashi up without any serious damage, and each time he would breath fire I ate it like it was candy. Once I got him out the door I yelled, "Next time I see you, you better be apologizing to me and my mom. You owe 10 years of apologies and an extra year thanks to you hitting her." Mom was proud of how strong I am and that I protected her, but she also is afraid of how strong I am and how she might not be able to pay the bills now. I told her I will get a part-time job to help, since if he doesn't help anymore it's my fault. It wasn't until I went to bed did what she said hit me. I ate fire, my QI spoke, and I beat a pro hero. How much more power is hidden within my quirk? DMN it, I'm going to have to talk to All Might later since his quirk is a strength-based quirk. Battle training, I yawn as I headed to school on my surfer. It's been a few days since the first day and honestly May was draining to contain at times. Literally in the past 4 days she has blown up 25 gadgets, injured 10 people, nearly killed me twice, and actually killed me once. After the third explosion she was assigned a big blast-proof hangar to test in. I was assigned the same one, but there was big rule we had. She could not test her babies unless I made the area completely unbreakable. As I walked past the classroom I waved to Power Loader. "Hey Teach. You enjoyed the improved digging suit I gave you?" He nodded and laughed as I headed to the hangar. "Make sure May stops working on the dangerous stuff when you leave. She gets really impatient." I stop and walk backwards. If I can talk her, Nizu, and Aizawa into it, can she join the hero course like I am? He shrugged as sent me along. I quickly rushed to Nizu's office with my plan. Nizu somehow was expecting me. "Hello Izuku. Let me guess you want Mei to be a cross-lesson like you." I nodded. It may help reduce her more dangerous stuff, give her babies a better focus, and keep her out of Funding's hair. I want to, and I already talked to Aizawa. Now it's up to her. Please make her agree. I don't want another funder to scream at me to throw her out. I smiled. "Will do. Thanks Nizu, we can play chess tomorrow with Solar Surfers as a bet." By the time I had gotten to the hangar, Mei was tapping her foot near the door. "About time, I need to test my babies and you're late." I sighed. "Mei, I was talking to the principal. He wants you to become a cross-study student like me. That way your creations can be made for people in particular. Think of it, all of A1 using devices we create when they go hero. The reason is because we know their quirks and understand how to make them stronger with support items." I may have laid it on a bit too much as she nodded furiously. "Should I tell Nizu you'll do it?" "Of course I will do it Izuku, but you must become my boyfriend," Mei said as she hugged me. I was stunned as I didn't know my crush liked me. "Wait, boyfriend, may I ask why that popped up?" She giggled and kissed me. "You're smart but dumb. I got a crush on you during the entrance exams. Now don't deny you like me, I saw you drawing me in a wedding dress. Honestly, more gears on the left and laser shooting flowers in the bouquet and it would be perfect." I blushed darkly and kissed her back. "You got me, but please take better care of yourself. I know your goals, but your health comes before the techno babies." "Deal." She agreed, and I sent a small robot to tell Nizu. Once I sent it out, I set up a monitor so Mei and I could watch what would happen. I smirked and spoke through the small mouse-like bot after Nizu saw it. "Message for Principal Nizu. For safety reasons there is a riddle as a password. Are you ready?" Nizu chuckled. "Very clever Izuku. Alright, give me the riddle." "He who knows, does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Do you know the answer?" I muted the mic as I began to laugh. Nizu had me repeat the riddle. Mei asked for the answer, but I ignored her for a second. After Nizu thought of the answer in complete silence for about 15 seconds, I spoke. "Answer correct as you are wise. Message is, Mei will cross-study like me. Have a good day Principal Nizu." Once I finished the message, I had the robot return with Nizu looking confused. I didn't give an answer though. Meanwhile I was laughing my butt off as Mei matched Nizu's look. "I'm sorry, but I finally beat Nizu in a riddle. If I know him, he will either chase the robot or have a teacher carry him here." The second those words left my mouth, Nizu kicked open the door and glared at me. "Okay wise guy, what was with the nonsense riddle? What could the answer possibly been?" Nizu yelled as he climbed onto my desk to get close to eye level. "The answer was for you to not speak. He who knows, does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Do you know the answer? The answer is in the riddle." I burst out laughing again as Mei and Nizu looked even more confused. It took them a few minutes for them to understand it. Nizu laughed and left. "I will remember that riddle and use it to confuse people." "You are devious Izuku. The bet is a surfer and Imperial tips tea." "Of course Nizu, it's worth the bet raised to finally stump you," I say as the laughing continues. Mei eventually slapped me. "Snap out of it Izu. Get up and reinforce the room for me. I have tests to do." I sigh and stand up, typing the reinforcement code. "You're no fun. There, it's reinforced." While she tested some explosive resistant material, I created a SWCH on the wall labeled coded reinforcement. I test it by switching it to off, causing a huge wall in the hangar. I quickly fixed it and turned it back on, and it worked. Of course Mei didn't notice at all, but I tell her once she finishes testing. She was overjoyed but quickly went back to testing. I finished a new nausea-stopping device and tried making a nutrient blend for Momo to use in emergencies to create items. I was close to getting what I wanted, but it would instantly make her as big as fat gum, but really awesome. but really big, hero. With some of the nutrient blend in small vials and a costume for Momo, I knocked on the glass of the testing area to get Mice's attention. She quickly put her current test away, hit the SWCH, and left to go to lunch. I gave the better costume to Power Loader along with a note to explain the vials. We then went to the cafeteria where May and I ate with A. They all were stunned when she said she is joining the hero course. Momo leaned over and whispered something into her ear, to which May nodded and caused Momo to shake some. Before I could ask why Momo was flustered, lunch ended and we all went to class. May sat on my lap causing glares from girls and one grape-headed pervert. When All Might came in yelling, "I am entering the room as a normal person," I couldn't help but yell over the normal person bit with silly buffoon. The entire class gasped but All Might laughed. I guess I deserved it. Hey young Midoriya, still learning insults with Mike. I shook my head. No, I did stump Mizu earlier though. That stunned him but he smiled. You record it. I will send it to you later, it's class time. Deku, how the F do you know All Might? Katsuki yelled as he grabbed me by my shirt's collar, sending May to the floor. QI stated, apologize or I will activate defender mode. I looked at my Quirk interface, which instead of its nice green was now a deep red similar to BLD. QI, let's save that for training. I'm sure Bakugo will enjoy it whether he apologizes or not, I said, my voice with so much venom in it All Might backed away. Katsuki let me go but glared. I meet young Midoriya when his quirk manifested. So this is the one who caused it. Anyways everyone, let's get to battle training. Change into your costumes and meet me at Site Gamma. The suits popped out of the wall as he left. I helped May up and grabbed my box before everyone else did. In the locker room Kirishima noticed my scars. Whoa, where did you get all those scars, Midoribro? I sighed as I put on my outfit, which was basically a green Tron outfit with extra padding and the ride/weapon sticks on my arms. I rather not say, but you already met the cause. With that I left, meeting everyone who already changed. Momo walked over. Midoriya, why is there an opening on my back and just a small hole in my cleavage? I need as much skin visible as possible. I pointed to a button on her wristband, that activates a shield to cover your back and give you the items created to whichever hand is open. Plus the less skin in front is because of my netta. It's also made for if you use the nutrient blend. That should only be a last resort if you need to make something really big or a whole ton. She sighed and shook her head. I will try this design, but how will it know where I want the item? I tapped the back of my neck. Your outfit has a mind-reading chip right there, so it'll know. I pull a disc off my back and begin to toss into the air before catching it. After waiting a bit I activate the helmet on my suit and check it out. When everyone was out, All Might explained the lesson. Basically we have two teams, villains and heroes, and the heroes must catch the villains or the weapon before time runs out. If the heroes are caught or time runs out, villains win. All teams and matches were done by lottery except one match. Just me. Against Katsuki, and I am the villain. Now since young Bakugo offended young Midoriya, I think they should get the bad BLD out of their systems. Especially young Midoriya. All Might stated, their match will happen now and they will hopefully participate again later in team matches. I nodded and ran down the street to the chosen building. After placing the weapon on the middle floor with a very strong shield, I headed to the door on the first floor. When the timer started I walked out the door and created another giant shield over the entire building. Let's start. QI, activate defender, battle, and god modes. QI beeped loudly as light temporarily covered my body before I got into a fighting stance. When Katsuki tried his usual starter right hook I kicked him away with great speed and force, crashing him through another building. When the JRK came flying at me using his explosions I did it again, not even leaving my spot. If you can make me leave this spot completely the building's shield will fall. Then you will have to destroy the shield around the weapon. Now knock me over like you used to, or am I finally not a simple Deku? The last word was definitely venom-filled as I stand up straight and pull a book out of my pocket dimension. As I begin to read it I simply bend, punch, kick, or slap Katsuki away until he destroyed my book. My suit then changed from green to red as I blacked out again. I regained control when time was up and Katsuki was unconscious and beaten to a pulp. After dusting the soot from my outfit, I healed Katsuki and carried him to the observation room as I reformed the book. When I arrived, everyone took a couple of steps back away from me except for Mei, who hugged me. She whispered, "Please never use whatever mode made you go crazy, you nearly killed him." I watched the tape, which was of me summoning my pixel clones and using them to fight Katsuki. He deserved it for what he put me through and shoving Mei earlier. At least I didn't leave any proof other than this tape. I put Katsuki in a chair as I sat in a corner of the room and put my head on my knees. Kaminari put what I said in the locker together with what I just said. "Wait, Bakubro was the one who gave you all of those scars. Why isn't he in jail? Some look like they were deep." I nodded to All Might as I stayed quiet. He sighed and got everyone's attention. Young Midoriya was bullied since he was deemed quirkless. Even his teachers encouraged the mistreatment. One day, young Bakugo told him to, and I quote, "Take a swan dive off the roof and hope for a quirk in your next life." Young Midoriya did just that. His timing was that he fell to the ground right in front of the entire school. Heroes and first responders were called as his body suddenly vanished, but the BLD stayed. Young Midoriya got his quirk as he died, and he then met me after he trapped a villain for me. After that I helped train him use his very adaptable quirk. After that was done, I slowly stood up. Also, my father is back in town. The first thing he did was hit my mom. That's when I found out about defender mode. Basically I fight till they give up, though the power is weaker. Battle mode is more strength, but I get hurt much easier. God mode is the ultimate regenerative and power reflective mode, but it has a time limit. Everyone relaxed some after this, but not a whole lot. That's when Katsuki woke up, looked around, then launched himself at me screaming Deku. Right before he got to me, Siro, Tsuyu, and Momo restrained him. I was stunned as Mei slapped him. "You are a big JRK. Izu made your costume, forgave you, and even healed you, and you still attack him. Be glad I don't want my boyfriend to hate me, or I would use my acid thrower on you." She hugged me and pulled me back to my corner as Siro tied him to a chair. Everyone did their battle tests, with Mei, Momo, and Mineta against Todoroki and Ojiro being a hectic one. Mai's team was villains, and they won quite easily, with Mineta being kicked out a window, sticking the heroes together. Of course I warned Mineta not to try anything. Mei and Momo had anti-pervert gear on, which automatically would kick perverts away. They kicked him back and forth until he was sent through the window. The girls were cheering it on as the guys winced. I told him not to try. Every girl's outfit has anti-pervert tech. The girls then thanked me and asked if they can add it to their school uniforms. When everyone was done, I gave All Might the clip of Nizu confused and changed. As I began to unfurl my surfer to go home, All Might flew up on his. "Want a race today, young Midoriya? I want anti-perv gear if I win. There are some crazy fans who want me." I laughed as my classmates came out and saw me getting on my surfer. "You're on All Might, but if I win you have to give up Solar Might for a week." He nodded and we raced to my place where he was invited for supper. The next day I was given lots of orders of solar surfers from my classmates, and All Might took his little moped to school. I still made All Might some anti-pervert stuff. I may have one, but he definitely could use it. Filler chapter with some mayhem in the form of gaming made real. Sorry, but I must also warn you, Daddy Dearest comes back. I was in the basement of my house using my quirk to play Minecraft on the surface of my desk. It was fun using something called redstone to automate some items, and I came up with a dumb idea. With a couple of hours of searching I found out you could create mods for the game and started to do so. When I finished a couple of hours later, I had a factory in Minecraft to build surfers for me. There were robots made to mine the resources needed, machines to process the materials, and finally a big machine to make the surfers. Once I saw it work a while, I picked up the digital factory and bring it up to my mom. I showed it to her, and when I open the chest holding the finished product and pull out a watch, it becomes real. Look, I made a factory. Of course my mom was proud and pointed at an ore I had laying around my factory as decoration. I told her what it was and she tilted her head. Hun, I know it's just a game, but there is no such thing as green gold. I showed her the recipe for green gold. She apologized. That's when there was a knock on the door and it was May. I could tell because her knock is a machine gun. Mom was confused until I warped her in, causing her to cough some. Hun, warn me next time you plan to warp me. Oh, what's that on the table? Mom and I laughed as I showed it off. May was really interested and asked if I can make fabrics this way, like her super fabric, which is cut, acid, explosion, fire, freezing, and a lot more proof, and it reacts to the user's quirks. She used it for my Tron-like hero outfit, which is why it glowed and changed colors. I looked at its elemental structure and used it in an odd mod which you can turn stuff like silk and dirt into its elemental components. Once I figured out how to make thread and a way to automatically weave it into different outfits and colors. I hand-made her digital factory for outfits and teach her how to put in the measurements and everything. She screams in joy and measures my mom. I watch her make a dress for my mom. When mom tries it on, its hem seems to float and move like there's a breeze, and it changes colors to match her mood. Wow, Inko, that dress looks awesome on you. I froze when I heard that from my father. May glances at him, then me. Hun, who's the dude standing there? Why does he look like defender mode? Hit him. I growled and QI formed next to me. He is my father. He helped me discover defender mode. What do you want, you waste of flesh? He glared at me. I am here to talk to Inko, not you. Hun, we need to get back together. I know I left to get us more money, but since Izuku is in UA and very powerful, I can retire and make up for our lost time. My mom paled with the dress turning a dark red. With that I was shaking with rage. You vanish for 10 years only to return since I can make you money. Leave the house now or I will activate Reaper mode. May quickly hugged me and tried to calm me down. Hun, don't you dare activate that again. You literally ate the souls of the last target. I don't want you expelled from the school. Father fell for the big lie and ran as QI created Reaper mode and one called Ghost Rider. I guess I will try them later. Mom, get a restraining order please. I'm getting one tomorrow since I don't want to kill him. With that I head to a nearby park and use a laser knife from a sci-fi video game to carve logs from Minecraft into different action figures, video game characters, even make a few villain carvings as I zone out some. After about an hour I notice kids and adults looking at the carvings. If they had questions about who was who, how much, where did you get that wood, etc., I would answer as I used QI to paint them. Most were shocked that I had a very flexible quirk and I had such fine control of it. I spent the rest of the day carving items and selling them as a way to pass the time. After that I spent an hour creating a bank account to store all my money and any I will get later. When I finally got home I was instantly enraged. My piece of SHT father was beating my mother. He was mad I didn't respect him and that she didn't stand up for him. The sight of my mom bloody made me black out again. When I regained my consciousness I quickly called the police and heal my mom. At first mom was afraid of me and I didn't know why. That's when I looked at a nearby mirror and panicked a bit. I was scared of myself as I was now nightmare fuel. I wanted to test out the modes later but not at the same time. I kept the form as I glared at my still alive father. Sitting in a chair I look at the recording of what happened. When I blacked out I yelled, Hell Reaper mode safe edition. My father attacked me calling me a worthless piece of SHT son. That I should be taking care of him finally since I know All Might and will be a strong hero. All I did was pin him to the wall and look into his eyes. Your soul is stained by the BLD of the innocent. Have a taste of their pain. I rewatched him hurting innocent people for no reason. He only passed out from mental pain and that's when I woke up. Police arrived and assume I am the criminal until my mom said, That's my son, he just saved me from my ex-husband. His quirk activated to defend me. Izuku, please deactivate whatever mode this is and show the police what happened with QI. A cop snickered, Don't you mean IQ, ma'am? I deactivate Hell Reaper and Glare. QI is short for Quirk interface. My quirk is similar to a PC. Don't worry about that piece of SHT. All I did was knock him out with a watered-down version of the pain he caused innocent people. I showed them what happened and they took him away. After a bit I was grabbed as well and dragged to UA where I saw Nizu and Aizawa waiting for me. Nizu spoke first. Izuku, you need to control your anger, okay? This is the third time you've blacked out thanks to your quirk. I growled. He was beating my mom like she was AF bongo drum. Be glad my blackout mode didn't kill him. I literally had to reduce it to 0.00001% power not to cause any damage. That made Aizawa pale. How many innocent people did he hurt? I don't answer as I head to a training gym. Nizu POV, I watch Izuku walk to a gym on campus. So his father is a piece of work. He has great potential but his father's actions will stain his name. Aizawa nodded, yes, but his quirk is evolving much faster than any other I have ever seen. He might go unstable more often now. With that I climb up into his capture gear scarf. True, but I think his drive to protect others will make him the next symbol of peace before he even graduates. I just finished training for a couple of hours after beating the CRP out of my father. Aizawa was asleep near the door. Ectoplasm was tired as his clones fought mine, and I was using Hell Reaper to cut up some food and perfectly cook it. Once I finished cooking the stew I made, I brought it over to the two teachers. They ate it and actually enjoyed it. Incredible, I didn't think Hellfire could cook food like this. If I had more strength I'd have some clones eat this. Unfortunately lunch rush, the school's cook, heard and got upset until he tried it. He now wants me to help make lunch from now on. That's when some random woman walked into the gym. I offered her a bowl which she took happily. That's when Nizu showed himself. What, don't I get a bowl? I laughed. Sorry, Nizu didn't see you. He eagerly ate his stew and got seconds before he told me what's going on. Izuku, this is our school's therapist, Elvira. She will hopefully be able to help you with your rage blackouts. I smiled. It's nice to meet you, Elvira. I'm sorry about getting you dragged out here during the weekend. She laughed. It's okay, if you didn't I would most likely be eating ramen right now. After we all had our fill, Elvira lead me to her office where she sat me in a chair. I heard today was the third time you've blacked out. Can you tell me what caused all of them? I sighed and leaned back in my chair. First and third was my father, if you can even call the SPRM donor that, hitting my mom. First time it was one slap, but this time he nearly killed her. If I didn't heal her she would be gone. The second was Katsuki burning my book like he did the day I jumped. She stopped me, jumped as in attempted suicide. With a nod I told her about my childhood as a quirkless kid. The bullying, the scars both physical and emotional, and some of my fears. When I told her about the day I jumped she gently hugged me. She helped me through some of my issues and recommended a very unique anger management idea. I was to use my quirk to carve items or build something in Minecraft to burn off the rage. When she said that I kinda laughed and showed her some I carved earlier. I kinda tried that earlier. Before he attacked my mom he told me his plan. I was to support him like he supposedly supported us. As if $200 a month helps much. I had to tutor other kids, even helped out people in higher grades to help support my mom. After a bit of me raging about him not being there, him hurting my mom, and the CRP he is trying now, Elvira handed me a test. I did it and gave it back a few minutes later. She had a machine grade it and was shocked. Do you remember your previous IQ score? I shook my head as she triple-checked the test. Izuku, you are the highest score ever. You beat Niza's score, and it may be because of your quirk was fully manifested. I checked the test as well and look it over. None of the right or wrong answers were marked, but I knew which ones I got wrong and it scared me. May I go home please? I asked as I used red pen to fix the ones I got wrong. She let me leave and I surfed home, where I instantly went to my room and thought about what I just learned about my quirk. It's increasing my IQ drastically every few seconds and I am finding out about stuff I know I never read before. I've had no interest in Hawaii, yet I know that they believe that the stretched molten glass and magma that usually comes out when one of their volcanoes erupted was hair of a goddess. I also know that bad luck usually follows people who take lava rocks from the island until they return it. I spent the entire night awake and stressed out. When my mom saw me in the morning, she saw that I had worn a path into my floor from my pacing. She sat me down and I told her, I know some people with high intelligence lose emotions and become bored with everything. Will I end up like them? My mom laughed and hugged me. You're silly, Izuku. They are that way because they have giant egos. You don't have one and you're afraid of what others think. Just remember this, just because you're smarter does not mean you're above or below anyone else. Use your brain to help others. Maybe you can help solve why we have quirks. That's when she left to make breakfast and I relaxed some. After taking a shower and putting on a simple pair of shorts and a t-shirt, I headed downstairs to see my father there. Calm down, son, I am just here to apologize to you and Inko. I know I haven't been a good father and I would like to make up for it. Mom was trying to hide a mark on her arm as I walked over to him. I grabbed him in the same place and dragged him out. You hurt Mom again and I will make sure you fear me. He drove off and I locked the door. Izuku, he won't give up. He's hard-headed and I told him now so many times I lost count before I married him. I healed the hand-shaped bruise before I ate breakfast with Mom. Once breakfast was over, I walked to the police station. I got a restraining order on him and another type of order that also keeps him out of the house, which is in Mom's name. With that done, I told Mom and went back to the park where I started to carve again. After a couple of hours of carving, I saw my father again. I accidentally burned the carving I was working on as he got out of his car. Do not come any closer, sir. I have a restraining order on you. If you get too close you will be arrested. Also stay away from my home or you'll get arrested. He sighed, son, we need to talk. Sir, you lost the ability to call me son when you beat my mom. Leave now. He got closer and a cop who was nearby arrested him instantly. With him gone, I got back to carving and joking with some people nearby. When it became lunchtime, May flew in on a surfer. Hey Izu, you hungry? I nodded, yeah I am. You bring lunch or are we going out for lunch? She helped me onto her surfer and we had McDonald's for lunch. When we returned to the park, there was a bag of money and a few carvings left next to where I was carving. I smiled and pocketed the money and got back to carving, showing May how to do it. Hers were pretty bad at first, but I smoothed them out some. When it became supper time, she could carve as well as I could. We left the carvings there with a note saying they were free. May took me to my place and joined us for supper. We enjoyed it, joking, talking about future creations, and such. When I gave Mom the money I got from the carvings, she tried to refuse it, but I wouldn't let her, saying I kept a good amount of it for personal use and May kept hers. She took it but wasn't really happy about it. May went home soon after and I got a phone call from an unknown number. Is this the wood carver from the park? I told him yes and asked if a carving broke. The guy laughed and said no. He wanted to see how big, detailed, and how many different items I could carve. When I told him I was unsure, he asked to meet me tomorrow after school at the park. I agreed and I told Mom what just happened. She told me to be careful and I went to my room to surf the internet. That's when a cop bodycam recording caught my eye. It was from yesterday when I was in Hell Reaper mode and the comments on it was about how I was a villain, I should be jailed, killed, or worse. A few said I should be the judge, jury, and executioner if I really am death, or my quirk can see if someone did a crime. Sounds like fun, but since the cops know it's me I can't do it. That's also when I got messages from all of my classmates. They were all scared they would have to face me. Well, all except May and Katsuki. Katsuki asked if I used it to defend my mom like it looked like. I told him what happened and he tested back. I know I treated you like SHT and I know if it wasn't me to cause it you might have died by the slime. I'm glad you're a better person with an awesome quirk, but I will become #1 hero. That way no matter what you'll have to look up to me knowing I'm better. I chuckled at his attempted apology and sent him a message saying I know why he's always angry. It's a quirk drawback and if he allows me to I can remove it. After that I went to sleep and had a dream with me as hero number the hero code, Hell Reaper. His main battle tactics will mostly be Hell Reaper for a while, but he will use other modes and code different abilities for himself. After all, he is the code. USJ Reapers calling. I woke up early and made Mom and I breakfast. Today had some dread in it and for some reason I felt like I was being called. Once I was done eating I headed to school and avoided a few flying grapes from Mineta. He was mad at me because all the girls had anti-Mineta gear causing him to go flying every single time he tried. When he tried to grope me I grabbed him by his grapes and lifted him up with a glare. Now, what did I say about you trying to grope my girlfriend? Don't do it with you around. I used Hellfire, tossed him into the air and kicked him yelling, never try it again you grape-headed idiot. When he finally landed in a river that was nearby Elvira had already dragged me to her office. I was scolded until I told her that he groped May, tried to grope 50 other girls, and if he had seen her she would have been targeted. She didn't believe me until he walked in and his eyes instantly focused on her tips. She instantly let me go to class and Mineta was scolded, given multiple detentions, and has to go through special classes to end his perverted ways. Midway through the morning Katsuki walked into the hangar I share with May. Nerd, what did you mean in that text last night? I quickly sat up and backed away out of habit. After I steadied my nerves I told him. My quirk let me create a HUD display which lets me see quirks, stamina, health, and a few other things. Now let me see your hands please. He sat down in my chair and put his hands on my desk palm down. I gently flipped them and began to mess with his quirk. After removing the anger/easily irritated bit from it I saw some dormant parts to it. Wow, I did not expect this. Katsuki, your quirk isn't fully active. There are bits still dormant. He was surprised. Wait, my quirk isn't being fully used. I shook my head and looked into it. May walked over as I made a hologram of Katsuki's body with it obviously censored where needed. You have your explosive sweat glands in your hands, but you also have them on the soles of your feet, your elbows, back of your calves, and your tear ducts can make it too. Fortunately, if all of them get taken out of dormancy you'll become blast-proof, gain more control over it, and control over when, where, and how much you sweat. May started to cuss before making him a new outfit as he yelled, F yeah, break that limit and boost me up. I nodded and removed it along with a bit of his ego so he has full quirk control. Once that's done I heard a voice. I looked around causing Katsuki look at me confused. Deku, are you okay? You just went pale. After convincing him that I'm fine I sent him back to class and got myself a drink. I drank some water and heard the voice again. This time it said something along the lines of trouble and the letters U, S, and J. I didn't understand and headed back to my hangar to work on Katsuki's new outfit. Luckily May and I got it done before lunch and we turned it in. We all ate lunch together. When we headed to class together I froze in the doorway. The voice was back, USJ. Death. Reaper. Must. May asked if I was okay and I simply nodded as I headed to my seat. She of course sat on my lap again even though she has her own seat now. Aizawa crawled into the room not leaving his sleeping bag. Everyone put on your gym or hero outfits. I want you at the bus in 10 minutes. We all did as told and I sat near the back of the bus so I could think. That's when Tsuyu, nice girl with a frog quirk, decided to bug me. Pun definitely not intended. Midoriya, what exactly is your quirk? I know you call it the code but that's about it. Kirishima looked up, wait. Midoriya bro, you're the pixel clone dude from my test. I nodded as I tried to figure out what the voice meant. Pixel clone. What does that mean? Uraraka chuckled. During the entrance exam he created a pixelated army of himself. He saved me and died in the process. This got Katsuki's attention. Wait, you died twice already. I flinched and sighed, over 7 times. Most was because I was learning my quirk. Mineta growled, of course the immortal of the class hates me. This is when Katsuki made the first joke I've heard not aimed at me, be glad he doesn't eat grapes. If you were Katsudon you'd be doomed. I smirked, maybe I should edit your quirk from sticky grapes to infinite Katsudon. He cowered until I started to laugh. Don't worry, I don't want my Katsudon to be flavored with a heap of pervert. This made everyone laugh including Aizawa who I though was asleep. Wait Midoribro, you can edit quirks. I flinched and nodded, yeah but it takes a long time to do and make sure your body can handle it. Katsuki actually got the dormant bits of his quirk activated. Now before you all ask, no. Maybe when we get the week off next month. Problem is it'll take at least an hour each and there are 19 of you I have to do. Of course the voice returned right then, program. Upgrade. Time. Now. This time Momo noticed me stiffening and going pale. Izuku, are you okay? You suddenly went pale. Guys, I apologize but this will feel weird. With that I scanned everyone except Katsuki and upgraded their quirk the best I could. Aizawa was easy to change. Remove his need to blink and his chronic dry eye and he's good to go. Once everyone was upgraded I dozed off for the rest of the trip. I don't have any clue what they did while I was unconscious but Katsuki and Mei woke me up when we arrived. Mei thanked me for the boosted zoom and now her fingers can become tools. She was ecstatic that she has both her parents' quirks and stronger too. I slowly stood up and followed everyone into the building we were at. We met 13 who gave us a warning speech about dangerous quirks. Once they were done they said, it is because of quirks we created this place, the Unseen Simulation Join or USJ. I paled and saw a portal appear as the voice returned, now Hell Reaper save your friends. I growled and moved in front of everyone as the villains appeared through the portal along with a thing called Nomu. That's when a guy covered in hands began his stupid monologue. We are the League of Villains, now where is All Might? We are here to kill him. Well, since he isn't here I guess we can kill the students. Of course that last sentence sealed his fate. Shigaraki Tomura, Quirk Decay, student of All for One. Go back now or suffer. He laughed, what are you going to do, game wannabe? I smirked, you asked, you shall learn. My body caught on fire, burning away all of my flesh. While this startled everyone my outfit changed to a Reaper's robe and I got my scythe. I am hero in training Hell Reaper. Turn back now or your souls will be my afternoon snack. Kurogiri the warp cloud entity walked forward a few steps, why are you a hero when that quirk suits a villain better? Join us and let's raise this corrupt world. I began to laugh as I looked at him, my voice beginning to become deep and ancient sounding. Why would I become a villain when I follow the hero's code? Nomu, kill him. The poor creature attacked me only for his fist to go through me as I touched its head. You suffered greatly, I free you of the mortal coil, young one. With that it collapsed and became a young child about 8 with blackish purple goo flowing off them. I picked up the child and walked over to Aizawa, handing him over. Keep the body safe, I will get his soul back once it's safe. Aizawa nodded as rage filled his eyes, go all out Hell Reaper, you have permission to use your quirk as you wish to defend your classmates. I quickly rushed at the villains and cut them down by temporarily cutting their souls so they can't move their limbs yet stay alive. When all but Kurogiri, Shigaraki, and another Nomu which came out through a portal a few seconds after I started my attack. Cheater. Hacker. This is not possible. Nomu, kill that skeleton. This one actually hit me. I wasn't moved an inch but his soul was that of a very murderous man. Your soul is stained by the blood of the innocent. Feel their pain. Every murder the guy did before and after becoming a Nomu hit him, burning away his soul which I ate. Souls of murderers always fill me up. Now Shigaraki, Kurogiri, surrender now or else. Shigaraki was then warped behind me by Kurogiri where he grabbed me. Goodbye Hell Reaper. Wait, why aren't you decaying? I laughed again as my mental stability began to crumble. You should know something about decay. It always comes after death. Unfortunately for you, I can't die. I knocked him out, then motioned for Kurogiri to lay down. He quickly did, and I immobilized him. While I was fighting, Ida had gotten the police and more teachers. Everyone was arrested, but I stopped them when they tried to arrest Kurogiri. Your soul is pure. You should have been a hero if it wasn't for the fact you were created to follow orders. If you want, I can remove that bit from you. His yellow smoke, which acted like his eyes, widened. You can free me of his control. Please do it. I quickly did it, and right then Shigaraki yelled as he woke up. Get me out of here, you stupid fart cloud. Kurogiri seemed to smirk as he yelled back, shut up, you overgrown baby. That made him throw a tantrum as he was put in a cop car with special gloves made by Momo so he can't decay anything. I laughed as I reverted back to my regular body. Kurogiri, you must go to jail for a bit, but I will try to get you free. I will use my contacts if needed. He bowed to me, thank you Hell Reaper, I am definitely in your debt. With that he was put in a car and drove off. After statements were made, I gave the kid back his soul and activated his dormant quirk. When he woke up, I talked to him for a bit. I talked to the police and called my mom, asking that if they can't find his parents, if my mom and I can be his foster family. They all agreed and the kid was happy. I sent him off as he told me his name. I quickly rushed to the bus but collapsed in the doorway of USJ, falling unconscious. Instead of me just waking up later, I had another dream. In it I met a female with what I thought was skeletal paint until I realized she was Lady Death. I'm sorry to mess with your life, Izuku. I had to stop many unneeded deaths. I slowly walked over to her. Why me? Why give me a quirk before I died? She laughed, sounding like bells and music. I chose you because you were the first in a very long time willing to meet me. Usually people who die have regrets and are not truly accepting their death. I sat in a nearby chair as she continued speaking. Also, you have all the quirks possible in the past, present, and future. Each ability, mode, and code you write is actually another quirk added to your collection. You are very special for current times. You are the first Reaper, agent of death in many centuries. You are my immortal Hell Reaper. Don't worry should your physical body die like it just did. We will talk for a minute and you'll be revived in a special way. Now revive my Reaper. You have work to do. I then watched as my body turned into dust and my soul was sucked into the dust as it reformed into my body and outfit I had on. In real time I was only dead for a couple of seconds, but I spent a few hours in Lady Death's castle. I got to the bus and shivered a little bit, prompting Momo to make me a thick weighted blanket. Midori bro, why did you just pull a phoenix? I didn't cause it. My body died and Lady Death talked to me. My Netta was next to me before I could finish my sentence. Death is a female. Is there a way to meet her without having to die? What I didn't expect was Lady Death grabbing and picking him up by his neck. How did you survive that? You were supposed to die, pervert. I'll take care of him. I gently grabbed her arm. Lady Death, maybe the pervert can change. Please drop him before he becomes a skeleton like you. She drops him and hears a thud. Wait, I'm solid. I thought I took his soul out of his body. That's new. With that she vanished and I curled up in my blanket. We all went to school and then home for the rest of the day except me. I went to the park after changing to meet the guy who wanted to see my carving skills more. I met the guy and quickly turned down his offer. He wanted me to carve him 500 All Mights to sell at his store. With his cussing me out, I went home and went to sleep for the rest of the day and most of the next since we had a few days off. I got messages asking what I did to their quirks and such. I'd answer and go back to what I was due. I swear if I end up like Deadpool and loving Lady Death I will kill myself. During one of the boring days off I decided to travel between towns and areas. I ended up in a city where I felt really safe walking around. After a while of walking around I feel something bump into me. When I saw it was a little girl I knelt down and helped her up. Are you okay? I'm sorry about knocking you down. I wasn't looking where I was walking. She instantly grips me and whispers, help me. I couldn't see her name or data because of how close she was, but I could see overhauls. I didn't even have to have the data hut to know he was evil. Eri, I told you you couldn't come out until after supper. Come on, let's go home. She shook her head as I slowly stood up and picked her up. Overhaul, it's best you turn around and walk away. I know she is in no way related to you. I was ready for anything as I sent an SOS to the police through my special watch. When Overhaul created spikes on the ground and walls of the buildings, I jumped up and landed on my solar surfer, which took a few seconds to form behind me. Hold on, Eri, I'm going to go fast. She gripped me harder before I took off. I barely got to the corner as more spikes tried to hit us. With a quick roll to the side we barely avoid them, but it scratched up my surfer. For the next half hour he chased us, destroying different buildings and some cars before I slam him with my surfer, knocking him out. The police ignored my SOS until their department building got destroyed by Overhaul. They arrested him once I knocked him out, and I took Eri to the hospital. After lots of questions and tests they find out she was very badly malnourished. She had the mentality of a toddler when she was obviously 6 years old, and she has scars all over her body. I called Mom about Eri and she says that since they found the other kid's family we can take care of Eri when she is able to leave. I smile and look at Eri. Hey Eri, I just talked to my mom. She says that if you want to you can live with us. She instantly hugs me and cries. I spent the night there, and after the pediatrician gave me a diet for Eri we went home. Eri, this is your new home. My mom and I will take care of you, okay? She nods as Mom quickly walks over and kneels in front of her. Hello Eri, I am Inko, but you can call me Mom or Grandma if either is easier. Eri looked up at me. What will you be? Is Izuku. I knelt next to her laughing. Your brother or I can be your parent, but I don't know if I can adopt you or not. This is when Eri smiles, pointing to me, then my mom. Papa, Grandma. This makes Mom cry, muttering that she's finally a grandma. I give Eri a tour of the house and notice her bed is in my room. She pointed to her pink bed. Is that my bed? I nodded and put her on it. Yes, it is. Do you want to take a nap or play some games? That is when my mom said lunch is ready. Actually, let's eat and then choose, okay? Eri nodded and followed me to the kitchen. We ate and she yawned. I gently put her on the couch for a nap and covered her with a blanket. After I put on a child's show for her to listen to, May comes in. May looked at Eri and then me. I didn't know you were a babysitter, Izu. I told May what happened as Eri took her nap. When Eri wakes up an hour later she points to May. Papa, who is she? May squealed softly, so cute. I froze for a bit trying to think of an answer as Mom walked into the room. Oh, good afternoon, May. I see you met your boyfriend's daughter. Eri tilted her head. Boyfriend. I sighed and put Eri on my lap. You understand Mom and Dad are together, right? Eri nods as she looks up at me. Before they become a mommy and daddy they date as boyfriend and girlfriend. I hoped that Eri understood as she looked between me and May. So May is not yet mommy. This caused May, my mom, and I to laugh. May was the first to calm down enough to talk. You can call me mommy if you want to. Eri hugged her and I smiled. Looks like I need to ask May to marry me sooner than later. Of course May ruins the moment by trying to give Eri a flamethrower. May, no. Eri, give me that please, I don't want you to get hurt with it. I gently took the flamethrower and glare at May. May, this is not a kid's toy. You and I will definitely discuss this later. May looks a bit scared as I never glared before. After putting every single dangerous item that May had in a safe we spend the evening with Eri teaching her some games and songs. After supper May and I put Eri to bed. We talked for a while with me at my desk and May on my bed. After a bit of silence I find out May is asleep. I quickly put a blanket on her, text her parents, and go to sleep on the couch in the living room. In the early morning I hear a scream and I rush to Eri. She was scared that she made me vanish like her BRTH father. I quickly calmed her down and told her what happened. Why did you sleep there instead of in bed with mommy? I laugh a bit and kiss Eri on the forehead. Mommy and I aren't that far in our relationship yet. We are only dating, okay? Eri nods as May begins FO wake up. May apologized for dozing off in my bed but I quickly silenced her by picking up her and Eri bringing them downstairs to watch TV as I make breakfast. By the time Mom woke up I had already done the dishes, left her a plate, and was playing with Eri as May went home. As Eri took her afternoon nap Izawa stopped by with Nizu. They understood the situation and said I could bring Eri to class with me but during support gear testing she can't be in the room. I nodded as I agreed and told them I would tell May. That's when Eri woke up and looked at Nizu. She walked over to him, wearing her blanket kinda like a giant robe. Mister, what kind of kitty is this? This caused Nizu to laugh. I am not a cat. My name is Nizu and it is nice to meet you. Eri fell backwards in shock but I caught her. It's okay Eri, Nizu won't hurt you. Nizu and Eri played for a little bit as Izawa asks to talk with me outside. Thank you for getting rid of my dry eyes and protecting your classmates. Even Mineta though Lady Death could have taken him. I chuckled some and nodded, not a problem but I am worried though. Someone else will take Overhaul's place and cause his trouble later. Izawa agreed as Nizu and Eri walked out with both wearing folded newspaper hats. I quickly took a picture, definitely putting this in the family scrapbook. Eri gave me a smile as she handed me one as well. I picked her up and said goodbye to Nizu and Izawa as they got into their car. Eri, in a few days you will be going to school with me. I will do my best to teach you, okay? Eri gave me a determined look. Can you teach me now? I laughed and kissed her on the nose. I can try to. Grandma might need to help me some when she gets home from work. We headed inside and all I could think about is how Monday will SCK. This is a filler chapter with hints to another story I am tempted to write. Please no hate and I hope you all enjoy. I used my quirk to make Eri's hair to be mice color and gave it my hair's unruly, fluffy nature. She loves how it looks after she makes me give her streaks of green and one small clump of white. Once that was all done I messaged All Might telling him I am going to check another dimension. He asked me to be careful and Mom made sure I knew that Eri is not allowed to slide between dimensions till she as I set up my stuff and got ready to slide when May grabbed me by my shirt. Nope, you are not leaving me behind this time. This made me chuckle and bring her with me. The wormhole took a few minutes to ride as we ended up on the Eiffel Tower in Paris. After we figured out where we were a dude in a black cat costume ran by with an extending bow staff. I took a picture as a girl in a ladybug costume using a yo-yo to travel started to follow him. So we just saw a black cat and a bug. This place is really out there. I nodded agreeing with May as a Parisian walked over. Oh, you've not heard of Ladybug and Cat Noir? When I heard that I sat on a nearby bench. In our dimension they were just cartoon characters so I just slid us into a TV series. I have but never saw any good pictures of them. Their costumes are not like how I imagined them. The Parisian shrugged and left as I caught May up. So we are in a cartoon reality. Okay, I just hope they didn't see us pop out of a portal, May said as the duo landed in front of us ready to fight. May they heard you. We both sighed as we got ready. Cat Noir was the first to speak. Okay, who are you two and why didn't you want us to see you? I came up with an idea and stood up. I am Izuku and this is May. We are watchers. We are only allowed to observe realities and interacting can get us STRPPD of our powers. Can you just pretend you've not seen us please? Mind wipe magic isn't our forte and we don't want to accidentally erase more than needed. Ladybug scoffed, as if we would believe that. Now who are you really? I sighed, of course we get stubborn heroes. With a flourish I snap my fingers, I have an idea. I will tell you both a secret that only you would know. Now it's best I whisper it in your ears or the other will know your identities. This made both look at each other nervously as I walked to a corner of the tower which is empty now for some reason. How about we just talk over here so the other can't eavesdrop? I know Cat Noir wants to know your identity. May laughed, Hun, don't tease the poor kitty. He's love-struck by the bug heroine. Ladybug walked over and crossed her arms, okay, prove your lie if you can. I formed a chair out of digital data and sat down as I made a similar chair for her. Your name is Marinette de Painchen, your Kwame is named Tiki, and you have a crush on Adrian Agrest. You are clumsy out of costume since you lack confidence. Need I go on? She sat in her chair stunned, how do you know all of that? I laughed, I watched your world from my reality. I won't tell Cat so don't worry. Trade places with him please. She did and Cat ran over. Tell me who Bugaboo is. I shook my head, I can't do that Adrian Agrest. I can tell you that you do know her out of costume and Plag knows who she is but her Kwame would kill him if he told. He looked sad but I laughed some. I will tell you that she does like you though. She hated you at first but an umbrella changed that. With that said I walked back over to May with the sad hero following me. Now we just want to explore the world a little bit. Don't bug us and we won't cause trouble. May and I heard of an awesome bakery here and we want to try it. Ladybug pointed us in the right direction and as we started walking I created a ladybug patterned umbrella. I kept walking as I laughed with both getting flustered for different yet similar reasons. We got close to the Depainching bakery and I slapped my forehead. I don't have money for here. Crud. I looked up as Ladybug landed on its roof. Actually we might have a chance now. Marinette is home. We entered and looked around the bakery as Marinette spotted us. She walked over to us and smiled, I'm guessing you forgot to grab currency for our world. May laughed, unfortunately yes. We may be more advanced but being forgetful is in our DNA. I dug into my bag and pulled out a big emerald and a sapphire in the shape of a heart. We can pay with gems though. They are still worth a lot. I gave the gems to Marinette and we grabbed a good amount of items. May was happy as I got her some chocolate. When she saw candy apples she screamed, Airy would love those. Let's get her some. That's when Adrian Agrest walked in. Hey Marinette, who are your friends and who is Airy? I pretended to introduce myself and May trying to hold back my laughter. Airy is my adopted daughter and even though May is just my girlfriend she calls her mom. May nodded as she grabbed a couple of the apples. What do you think your mom would like Izuku? I grabbed some breads and more chocolates before I said goodbye to Marinette and Adrian. I made sure to leave the umbrella there as I formed a portal. Once it formed I shoved May through it and quickly followed speeding us through much faster than earlier. We popped out on the couch and May hit me asking why I shoved. Another wormhole was forming. For some reason it scared me. If that was a supervillain we could have lead them to our world. I just hope I am wrong and it is a good person. I started to put stuff from the bakery away. As Airy tackled me. Welcome back Papa, did you have fun? I pet her head as I gave her a candy apple. Yes, May and I met two heroes that are actually a TV show from a long time ago. She ate her apple as I set up the TV to watch Miraculous Ladybug. After a few shows we ate supper and went to bed. Luckily May went home this time so I wasn't on the couch. After the few days off from the USJ incident the school had us do training for the sports festival. May and I worked together on our fighting skills when we met up after school. As a little joke and to keep Airy involved we let her fight with mini clones of May and I. It was so cute as the minis and her played and fought. Though she was hesitant we did have her train with her quirk. It wasn't long until she could use it easily and stop it when she got the result she wanted. As a reward I gave her a boost to her quirk and renamed it VCR. She can rewind and fast forward stuff she touches. We had her train that aspect and she got May and I by surprise. I told her about the quirk test Aizawa, or Sleepy as she calls him, had us do. Then that little snowflake tossed a softball and at the last second used her quirk on it. It went from no speed to lots of speed even though it still went the same distance. If you decide to play baseball instead of being a hero, you'll have a killer fastball. She laughed and hugged me as May wondered what just happened. That's when the day came for the festival. I was called up as the first year's spokesperson. I just want everyone to do their best and try to prove to the heroes and civilians watching one major thing. It's not the quirk that determines a hero, it's the person who is trying to be a hero with what they have. I stepped down and kicked Mineta. I saw what you were about to do, Mineta. Touch May and I'll make you into a kickball. He quickly backed away as we all got ready to do the obstacle course. I literally got into a sleeping bag as everyone else started running the course. Aizawa yelled through the mic, "Midoriya, get out of that sleeping bag and take this seriously." In retaliation I stood up in the sleeping bag and randomly warped through the course to the end before laying back down. Present Mike started to laugh as Aizawa's jaw dropped. "Guess he beat you at your own game." With my already crossing the line I just took a nap for the next 10 minutes for everyone to cross. The next challenge was the cavalry battle. I got teamed up with May, Uraraka, and Momo. May made a joke, "How about we just carry this sleepy Izuku and have him float us or something?" The second she finished saying that I pull out a splash potion of levitation and slow falling from Minecraft. "Momo, can you make us ropes and you guys sleeping bags? You can all nap once we get into the air." Momo flicked my nose. "Okay Midoriya, why are you being so lazy today?" I sighed, "Just haven't slept well since the incident. I rather not push myself to death again." May slapped me on the back of the head through my sleeping bag. "Izu, get out of the sleeping bag or I will use my bomb on your lab at home." I get out of the sleeping bag and turn it into a platform of some sort. "Just get on." We all got on with May on our shoulders. When the match started the platform just flew up into the air. Of course Kakin tried to use his explosions to get to us. Simple dodge left or right each time got us to the 1v1 battle tournament. We got a lunch break and I helped lunch rush feed everyone by making food with my hellfire. Everyone was enjoying the kebabs and burgers I was making as I tried to figure out how to use my flames to air fry food. Next round started and I headed into the arena with a yawn. I was against a purple-haired kid named Shinso. The round started with him asking questions like, "What's it like to be blessed with a powerful quirk?" I nearly decked him but instead I walked over to him and said, "Death is never a fair trade for a quirk." Apparently my answer disturbed him as he backed away and out of the ring. Aizawa was mad. "Okay Midoriya, what did you say to him?" I repeated myself yelling louder than present Mike, then walked away to get my lunch since I didn't eat yet. I didn't watch the battles or return to the arena until I was against Todoroki. When the match was started Todoroki used his fire and ice on me. I would just break the ice and eat the fire as I tried to figure out what to do to attack him. Unfortunately that's when I remembered the emerald booger and decided to shoot them from my hands. The first one whizzed by Todoroki's legs distracting him some. When he saw the emerald in the arena he realized what I was doing a second too late. His ice wall did protect him but it also sent him out of the ring as the emeralds broke it off the floor and made it move. After that match I was cornered by Endeavor and my father. I secretly sent an SOS to the police as he talked. "Son, you were awesome. Now the restraining order is made null with a fellow hero being next to me, so don't try it. I want you to lift the restraining order or else I will make sure you never see the light of day again." Endeavor nodded. "A son's job is to carry on their father's desires. Shoto will become number one cause I want him to. Now you must listen to your father or else." I sighed and shook my head. "Hisashi, the restraining order is not made null and I will never lift it if you keep this SHT up. Also, your son is the newest agent of death," Lady Death stated, interrupting me. "Lady Death? What are you doing here in the mortal realm?" She smiled at me softly then glared at my father and Endeavor. I was here enjoying the tournament until these two idiots offended you and, by extension, me. Endeavor growled, Lady Death is a villain's name. Leave now or you will be arrested. I couldn't help but laugh. Endeavor, you can't arrest Lady Death. She is literally death. If it was time for you to cross over, she would take your soul right now. That seemed to enrage the walking trash fire as he tried to incinerate Lady Death. I just watched as she just stood there looking at her non-existent nails. You call that hell flames? Hell's fire is much hotter than that. His jaw dropped and I knocked him and my father out. Police arrived, arrested both flaming idiots, took my statement, then left. My next match was against Ida, who came at me as fast as he could. I spent most of the match narrowly dodging him even though I could move much faster. After about 5 minutes I activated Hell Reaper mode and sliced Ida's soul slightly. All it did was remove his balance just long enough for him to accidentally fall out of the arena. I helped Ida up after turning off my flames when I was suddenly teleported to an alleyway. There I saw Stain the hero killer and Ingenium, Ida's older brother. Stain, just drop your weapons please. As you can see, I have no BLD and Lady Death doesn't want you to hurt him. Ingenium instantly recognized me. Hell Reaper. I thought the sports festival was still going on. This really set off Stain. You call yourself a hero but you know villains. Die villain and fake hero. He tried to stab me but I grabbed his wrist. I am not a villain, I am a reaper for Lady Death. The goddess of death, written in every culture and religion. You have insulted her, prepare to get hurt, I yelled as my hell flames covered my body, melting his blades without hurting him. Once all of the metal was gone I gave him a taste of my penance stare, knocking him out. Cuff and take him in please. I have a tournament to finish. I returned to the stadium and caught the tail end of Kachin's last battle before he has to fight me. To make the battle simple, I won after an hour of fighting. Using his increased fire power and where he can explode, he was all over the arena and above it. I just had Hell Reaper active so I wouldn't burn at all from his explosions. He did send my head flying but I caught it before it left the arena. That really stunned him and that is the only reason I won. Distraction by dismembered skeleton let me finally knock him out. Award ceremony was boring. When it was all done I went home, played with Eri, and then went to sleep. Next morning I was yelled at by Aizawa for not taking it seriously, played chess with Nizu, and nearly blew up the lab when Mei suddenly kissed me. I swear, why can't I have a good day? No internship. I walked downstairs with Eri on my shoulders. Mom was already up and was holding a letter. Morning Izuku. Hey Eri, did you sleep well? We both nodded as she handed me the letter. I opened it and smiled as I set Eri on her chair. Guess what, Eri? What? As of yesterday you are officially my daughter, Eri Midoriya. She screamed and hugged me, happy as she could be. After we both ate I brought Eri outside and showed her a custom solar surfer I made just for her. The surfer was streaked with pink, green, and white, had a car seat with buckles and a helmet, a cute flower steering wheel, and it had stabilizers so that she can't ever flip it. I was getting sick of the bus. You ready to try OT out, hun? I wasn't even done before Eri was in the seat and buckling up. With a laugh I helped her seat up and put her helmet on before we set off to pick up Mei. When we got there Eri was proud. Look mommy, I got a surfer too. Snowball Express. We both laughed as Mei hopped onto hers. I see that, honey, I'll paint the name onto it later. After I talked to your dad about being a hypocrite. Daddy, what's a hypogriff? The people around awed at the question as I kissed her nose. Hun, your mommy called me a hypocrite, not a hypogriff. Remember the big pink thing she tried to give you? Well, it and the surfers are dangerous if misused. Yours though has a ton of safety features along with anti-villain gear. I don't want my snowball getting hurt. She smiled and then smirked. Daddy won a race to school today. Mei left the second the word race was said. I had to hop onto my surfer to catch up to her and Eri, who left right after May. With May winning because she cheated, we all get off our surfers and I show Eri how hers becomes a little cap for her horn so it doesn't accidentally prod people. Once we get that fitted onto her horn and tighten so it won't accidentally fall off, we head to Nizu since he wanted to watch over Eri this morning. When lunchtime came, Eri, May, and I ate in the cafeteria with all of A1 looking at her confused. Deku, why is there a girl with a metal horn on your lap? I laugh, sorry I mean Katsuki. This is my daughter Eri. I just adopted her after rescuing her. Eri removed the metal cover, can I show them the Snowball Express? I shook my head, not inside sweetie. You might hurt someone unfolding your custom surfer. That resulted in Momo slapping me. You seriously gave a 5-year-old a surfer? Those things are dangerous. May laughed and showed a picture of Eri's custom surfer. Izu went all out. I looked it over for a bit and he has it using more than 3 SSBs for all the defensive measures. Shields, perfect cloaking, tasers, mommy what's AI? May kissed Eri on the nose, it's a program with a mind of its own. Izu has it set to protect you without killing anyone. Eri hugged me, thanks daddy. The class awed as I put her folded surfer back over her horn. I'm always going to protect my snowball. We finished eating and headed up to class. Eri sat on my lap and May was behind me when Mineta finally saw my daughter. Hey, Mineta. I can't wait to see what you look like in 15 years. I quietly gave Eri to May and grabbed the great pervert. I will be right back. Mineta just tried to perv on my daughter. I dragged him out with a very mad class glaring at Mineta and a scheming Aizawa smirking. I gently knocked on Elvira's door, but when she said come in I threw Grapus through the door and marched after him. I'm sorry to give you more work but I want permission to turn this grape into a grapette. He perved out on my daughter. Elvira glared at him, what did he say? Something about can't wait to see her body in 15 years. Elvira gave the pervert a waking nightmare using her quirk and we talked about his punishment. Once we were done talking she removed the nightmare and we went back to class. Aizawa was playing rock paper scissors with Eri when we returned. Hi daddy, Mr. Sleepy taught me a new game. I keep losing though. I ruffled her hair as I tossed the perv into his seat. Mineta was nightmared and Elvira is planning his punishment. He nodded as I took Eri back to our seat. That's when we said what he wanted to earlier. Now as I was going to say before, Mineta's statement is that usually we let second and third years do internships. This year we are allowing all but Midoriya to get an internship. Midoriya, you'll be going to a special testing area for your quirk and to see if you can get your license much earlier than most. Especially since you beat Overhaul, League of Villains, and Lady Death chose you. I nodded and Eri looked up at me. Is Lady Death a colorful skeleton lady? I nodded, yes Eri, how did you that? Eri smiled, she visits me at night calling me her surrogate granddaughter, whatever that means. I smiled, I guess she kinda is Grandma Death to you. The class got distracted by what Eri said until Katsuki yelled, finally registering what Aizawa said. What do you mean Deku gets to test for his license already? Why can't we test as well? I froze as Lady Death grabbed him snarling, shut up you nuclear Pomeranian. It's your fault Izuku is a reaper. Eri yelled, Grandma Death let Mr. Angry go. He's becoming like you. Lady Death instantly obeyed and hugged Eri, hey snowflake. I didn't know you'd be here. Eri hugged her back and gave her a drawing of her, me, May, my mom, and Lady Death having a picnic. That's when I came up with an idea, Lady Death, can you temporarily bring a living person to their personal afterlife? She nodded as she set Eri down, that is a very specific question my dear Reaper. Who deserves to see it? Zero caught what I was doing and wrapped Mineta in tape as he tried to escape the classroom. If I am catching what Midoriya is hinting, he is referring to Mineta. Lady Death quickly grabbed the wrapped up pervert, okay, what did you do this time? Did you grope my surrogate future daughter-in-law? Speak Grapist. He cries and wets himself. Lady Death, he made a comment about Eri. He can't wait to see what she looks like in 15 years, Momo said as she backed away from her afraid of what is about to happen. Aizawa, consider him on an internship in my castle. I'm sure seeing his afterlife will scare the perverted ways out of him. He nods, as you wish, but there is a test today and internships don't start till Monday morning. Please put him down. She drops him like a sack of potatoes. Fine, just tell his parents I will be collecting him at 1 second past midnight. With that she vanished and Aizawa passed out the test with him taking Eri up front to continue playing rock paper scissors. I honestly have no clue what was on Mineta's test, but I was smirking as I read mine. 1. Don't tell Mineta anything. 2. Write your name. 3. Wait 5 minutes and turn it saying that was easy. 4. Before anyone asks. Yes, I made this just in case Mineta makes everyone mad. I will show you all his test after internships. The fool was sweating like a HKR in a church. I waited a bit less than 5 minutes before turning it in. I brought Eri back to my seat and gave her a small ball to play with. It was cute and fluffy, and as she played with it until it became this. She squeaked and played with it for the rest of class. That's when Midnight walked in and saw Eri. Hey Snowball, I thought you would be with Nizu all day. Eri showed her the small fox ball. Nope, Daddy brought me to class today. I saw Grandma Death and Daddy gave me this. Midnight smiled as she asked what Mineta was doing. I filled her in and she smirked. Think Lady Death will let me help. I shrugged and we all went to choose our hero names as Mineta kept doing his test. I stopped Katsuki and wrote Ground Zero on his mini whiteboard. Trust me, it suits you and I rather you not make Lady Death any madder. He nodded and put that in. After a little bit I went up with the hero code, Hell Reaper. Midnight was about to reject it when Lady Death showed up. All Reapers have the word Reaper in their name. It has been so long since I have had one, so please let it go. If you do, you can help. Midnight agreed and she walked out with Lady Death so they can meet up with Elvira to help punish Mineta. Mineta, your week of hell is just getting worse and worse. I just hope it's not class SS hell. I smirked as he relaxed, thinking as was easy. Don't relax, Grapist. From least to worst the rankings are E, D, C, B, A, S, and SS. Last time I checked only Kane has seen that level of hell. Class ended and we left with Mineta looking like a husk out of fear. We all talked and planned a class and Eri outing for the weekend. We did it and Eri got toys and dresses to play with. I hope Mineta has fun with Lady Death.